Hello, today in my video I will be talking about just cartel in general and what's going on. And the first thing I started looking into, which like led me down everything, is America is posturing for a war against the cartel. And we kind of are. The cartels have grown so big that they're like billion-dollar companies now. So the Mexican government can't do anything about it because they'll just kill everybody, and they have like a lot of bullets and a lot of guns and a lot of hideouts and a lot of people paid off, and they just a lot of everything, and they control everything. So we kind of have to go deal with them ourselves because what I'm going to talk about more is the fentanyl that is coming through is just it's the number one killer of young people. Like it's beat out everything else, and like everyone used to be able to just like maybe like try a little something, try like like people would get away with it. Like a bunch of like famous people or like people that are like historians like tried a little something, but now like it's the number one killer of people because people will try a little something and the little something will have fentanyl in it and it'll kill you because like the people they put fentanyl in and they can get away with it because they sell it to people that are already users. So if you already have like a built up tolerance, you can probably take like a little bit of fentanyl, like you could die, but a lot less likely. But then the just like young dude that's just like or a young girl that's just trying it for the first time, then could die because never tried anything before. So bad. So then so we have to posture for war, and how we are kind of making moves towards that is we've like completely shut down the border. We've started to use drones to monitor the border, and we've actually seen a response. The cartel has their own drones to monitor us back. So see what's up with that. And we have also sent troops down there, and we've started because the Mexican president, she doesn't want troops or us to do any attacks so far in Mexico because she said that would be an act of war against Mexico. But you know, just how it works. So we gotta send troops down there to train their troops, and that's just the stage that we're at right now. They've probably gone farther than that, but that's what is public information. And they've made the why we've been able to start making moves to attack them is Trump has named the top six cartels as terrorist organizations, and Tren de Alargra or Alargra or however you say it from Venezuela, and Mara Salvatrucha or MS-13 from El Salvador. And El Salvador, we've started to work with them because they've completely shut down their gang problem, and um, they just got rid of it. They've like locked up everyone with any kind of gang affiliation, and it's dropped their crime by 90%. They've built like some giant prisons. I think they have the biggest prisons in the world. So they're taking all our people also, and they got it down. They got like prison down. They got everybody locked up. They got them all on time, and they got them all fed. They like know what to do, so we're just sending the people there. And we all had to call them terrorist organizations because all the people are dying from their actions. They're not necessarily coming and killing Americans like how we had to go against the Middle East wars where 9/11 happened. But through fentanyl, they've killed way more people. I should have researched those numbers, but drug actually, did I? Nope. But yeah, drug trafficking. There's always been drug trafficking. There's been weed like cocaine, crack, meth, whatever from Mexico, and that's always been a thing. It's always killed people, but not to like such a significant amount. And then fentanyl came along, and it's just dropping all the young people, and that's not good. And for human, and then there's a lot of human smuggling through the border, and that's also like hurts Americans. So that's another thing that they're being called terrorists for. And what is happening where they're getting a lot of new people is when they're coming through the border, they'll just grab them, and then, you know, like we don't know exactly where they're going, but they're going missing, and all the children and women, and then only the men get through in a lot of these places, and then you wonder why only the men are getting through. And something to think about. I don't know the answer to that one, but that's just something to think about. Like, where are they going? Why are only men showing up? Because that, I don't know, something to think about. And not all the cartels are putting fentanyl in their stuff. Like some of the cartels, um, they they do put fentanyl in, but because they just don't care. Because like some companies, they put like bad chemicals in their food because they just don't care. And other companies, they like make sure no chemicals are in their food. So it's just kind of like that. But and then other cartels, like I was watching a video on like what's going on in Philly, because they've like completely had like part of their town fall apart because of drugs. But their big thing is if anybody puts fentanyl in the drugs up there, the cartel will like, because they're like one of the people that are like, we want to keep our stuff clean. They'll hire hits on you to come take you out because they don't want to get the reputation for fentanyl, so they keep all their stuff clean. So some of them take it to the extreme, and then some of them just don't care, which is with most things. But where the majority of fentanyl is coming from, because it's not like an easy to make thing. Because if it was easy to make, then they would have had it forever. But the majority of fentanyl either, yeah, the majority of fentanyl either comes pre-made or ready to be made with little packets that explain how to make it from China. About 90 to 95% of the fentanyl comes straight from China, which is like a conspiracy because like we're at a little bit of like adversary where China has done TikTok, which has harmed us. They who knows what else they've done. They've so now the fentanyl. Why wouldn't they do that? It harms them while bringing them massive income. So why wouldn't they do it? And all companies in China uh, are connected to the government and have to respond to government officials. In America, you don't have to do that. You just don't have to do that. But in China, you can. Well, you have to do it in China. So, you have to respond to the government and you have to respond to the military. And so that's why they've made so much more progress because they can just take things and they don't have copyrights in China, so everyone can just take everything. So everything just gets better and better and better instead of just one person sitting on it and the idea never growing. In China, everything grows. So that's why they're beating us by a lot and everything. But with the fentanyl, so that means that it's probably under control from the government, and So it's like, why are they doing that? Because it hurts us and it gains a massive profit. And a lot of it is coming from mid-level uh, mid-level advertisers, like from medical companies, like little shady ones, on e-commerce, dark web marketplaces, or encrypted apps. And it's coming from mid-level, but there's such a massive amount that there has to be like mass production. So it makes me wonder what big companies are involved. Like they found out that Fauci was involved in the creation of COVID. Why wouldn't like some, maybe him, but maybe someone else, we don't know who, be like funding this whole thing and just doing like shell companies to which is where you just like stack companies under different names till you can't trace it, and you just can move your money freely. And so who knows who's running it, but says it's mid-level, and they sell it through e-commerce, dark web, like I said, marketplace, and encrypted apps like Telegram probably. And probably do it more openly too, but yeah, they gotta move a lot because 90 to 95%, that's a lot of fentanyl. So it's like, how are they getting it over here? Most of it is shipped through container ships and just mislabeled. So you can pack a lot of stuff because fentanyl, like a small amount is good enough. So you can like fill a couple of containers, just mislabel them, and then that's all you need. And you're good to go. And then some people, they put like some in the back, some stuff in the front. Like you get creative with it. However you can think about them doing it, they've probably done it because it's just complete trial and error. They've like tried everything. So whatever works, they do. And how the cartels get it is because obviously you can't just send it straight to the cartel. Is they send it to like medical research doctors or whoever, and then they have like brokies that they either bribe, pay off, blackmail, etc., whatever they do. Then they have the brokers just buy it and then give it to them through like either blackmailing them or bribing them or whatever. And it's getting pretty bad. And what the U.S.'s response is, this is kind of good, is they've made the ICE budget 6 times bigger. So I don't think you're really going to be able to stop the amount of drugs that they're making. Like, obviously, if you shut down their money flow, they'll stop making less. But if we can, like, make the border stronger or make however they're getting it in stronger, then that will really slow it down. And people really just let everything slide the past 4 years. People come in freely. So how much fentanyl was getting in and, like, how many people were dying. So if we can just, like, that's a good start. 6 times the ICE budget, make the border bigger. Everyone tries to focus on, like, the illegal immigrant families. And, like, it is sad, like, being in their position. Like, you get lucky being born in America. But if you were born in another country, then you're kind of unlucky. And, like, I would be trying to get to America too if I were those people, but just can't let them all in because of, like, the bad actors. Because you don't know if they're a bad actor. Because some cartels, like, they know you won't search a kid or you won't search an old lady, like, as thoroughly. So that's the person they hide the drugs on. Or that's the person they do whatever with. So, like, they know how to get it through. They know how people think. They're a person too. The person in the cartel, they're born in Mexico, probably poor under bad circumstances, and they're doing bad things now. We need to chase them down and kill them now. They shouldn't be doing the things they're doing now. But you can see from their perspective the things that they've done, like that's a profitable way to live there. But we just need to keep them down there. So it's we've made it 6 times bigger, the budget, and then also ICE. I think it's good. They run their own prisons, so the prisons will get 6 times the budget. They'll hold more people. But under the Biden administration, the problem with the prisons was they would, when people would get over the border while Biden was in office, they would just wait there. The fuck? They would just wait there and wait to be caught, because what they would do is they bring them to the detention center. Instead of just putting them back over the border, they would let them free into America, and then they would just be like, all right, you'll have a court date. But of course, since so many people were coming through, the court dates got pushed back by years, because, there's only so many judges, and judges can't be only doing that. And so so many got let free. So now that Trump is saying that they have to be sent back, instead of like the huge flow of people coming through saying, oh sweet, we'll just get in here, we'll get in, they'll catch us, we'll chill for a couple years, we'll figure it out, blah blah blah. Now under Trump, if you come over here, he just kicks you out. So now people aren't even coming because they know that they won't be able to stay. So it's good to stop fentanyl, but then there's good people out there that probably would live better lives in America. But, fentanyl's killing the most amount of young people. So people say it's like freedom comes at like expenses, and that's kind of one of the expenses, is that you can't let everybody into the freedom. It's just kind of sad. And and what makes it kind of complicated is, since they are all now terrorist organizations, is that there were some companies that are like a part of the cartel, and there are some companies that are like doing whatever, like have to pay off cartels. They have to cut all ties with them now, so that's gonna affect Mexican whatever money, and then but the counter argument to that is, I saw this other thing that people were arguing that if you bring down the cartels, that will hurt the Mexican government so much. But the cartel barely represents over 1%, which is still a pretty big percent of a GDP, but it only represents 1% of the Mexican GDP. So if you got rid of the cartel, they'd be completely fine without it, and they'd probably be better without it. So all the companies have to cut ties, and some of them are paying protection to the cartel, which is really we won't rob you if you pay us. So we're kind of stuck in that situation. I don't know really how that's gonna work. And if we did go in and attack them, they kind of have tunnel systems in the Middle East wars and in the Vietnam wars. So we were unable to win in the Vietnam wars, and we were unable to fully win in the Middle Eastern wars. So who knows, that could just, if we do end up going to war with the cartel, which is highly possible, it could just be us killing a lot of Mexicans. Because what always happens is if you kill one person, then his brothers will be like, hey, they killed my brother. His friends, his uncles. And if we go in and do what we normally do, is like where we like bomb and we accidentally kill civilians. And if we kill civilians, then they'll radicalize the civilians and they'll want to join the cartels. So it'll just become a huge bloody thing like it normally happens. And a lot of people will make money off of it, so they'll keep it going, but it's just not good. And they have many tunnels that, like, I don't know how we don't shut down the tunnels with all the radar stuff we have now, but the tunnels also will help them. I don't know exactly how, but that's how they get a lot of fentanyl through also. And yeah, no, they have tunnels through 500 miles across the border, so I guess that's how they don't catch them. And yeah, I'll probably do more videos on this in the future. And if you liked it, please watch more. Suggest it to people. And yeah, that's it.